made a post yesterday that said you either marry well or you don't marry at all. And I did not come up with that, by the way. That is an old quote, and I don't know who said it. But the more successful a woman becomes, the more her options, slim out in life. And so that's your only option, to either marry well or, don't marry at all. Because if you marry down, you literally you're going to ruin your life. Men historically, and from my personal experience, if they feel like they are less than you, will ruin your life and ruin your accomplishments and everything that you're supposed to have coming your way. So my advice to any woman, especially a woman who's well accomplished, you either marry well or you don't marry at all.
In today's business and financial news, let's discuss marrying after the age of 40. So this video was prompted by a woman on Instagram, and her Ali Teich. She got an article in People magazine recently, and the article is called "New Bride Writes Open Letter at 42 to Single Women Everywhere. After the way it's supposed to happen." Exclusive. I'm just going to read part of her Instagram post. In her Instagram story, she highlights a portion of the People story. And it says, "Before I flood you with a deluge of wedding content, I felt compelled to address all the single people out there with the intention of helping you feel a little more seen in your very real experiences and to hopefully offer you some, hope." If you want to read the rest of her post, you can look it up on Instagram. It's just too much. The story is forever long. And yeah, we aren't doing all that.
5 things I am not doing at my wedding as an over 40 bride. Number 1 is having bridesmaids. I'm a big age. I don't got the time. It doesn't make any sense to me. Whatever my bridesmaids can do for me, I can plan for myself with a wedding planner and my fiance. Number 2, having a wedding registry. Again, big age. I have pots, pans. I have a blender. I don't need a juicer. These are things that once you are an adult, you don't really need in the same way. I would prefer to spend that on a honeymoon, so we will be doing a honeymoon fund. Number 3 is cutting a wedding cake. I don't even know if we're going to have cake, honestly. I'm not a huge cake fan. Maybe there might be macaroons. It might be an edible and a gummy. Number 4, speaking of food, eat before you get there. Eat before you get there. I'm not doing a plated dinner. I'm not doing a family style dinner. Stop by McDonald's. Stop by Wendy's. Get you a faux for faux. And number 5 is have just one dress. Not surprising for me. Or have a dress at all. It might be a jumpsuit. It might be a short set. It might be a bustier.
Because this is business and financial news, first let's talk about some of the financial ramifications or considerations when it comes to marrying after 40. And we're going to go to schwab.com for this. So this is an article that came out about a year ago in May of 2024. It's called Late in Life Marriage, Pros, Cons, and More. We aren't going to go through all of this article. This article is really focused on people that marry a little bit later in life, so even beyond 40. This really talks about people that are marrying past their childbearing years. But there are some bullet points, and let's just review those really quickly. So it says the pros. These are the pros again of marrying later in life. Bullet number 1, marriage could allow you to share the burden of monthly expenses and increase your buying power. Bullet point number 2, marriage could allow you to get lower premiums and greater discounts on insurance for additional coverage for your spouse. Think group health insurance, home and auto insurance. The third point that's a pro, marriage makes you eligible for spousal and survivor Social Security benefits. And then the last pro that they mentioned, marriage can allow you to use your spouse's unused estate tax exemption, which can help lower your federal estate tax liability if they precede you in death. We are an accountant, so you definitely want to check in with your accountant and or your legal counsel before you think about your tax exemptions and your tax liabilities. So those are the 4 points that are pros concerning marrying later in life, according to Schwab.
You want to see my wedding pictures? Look, y'all, look. Look how cute it is. I can't. Let me show you another one. Bitch, does that say Auntie got married? Does that say Auntie got married? Because to me, that says Auntie got married. Highly recommend that. I don't know. I mean, if it's your first wedding, you do what you want to do. But I had a micro wedding. We had 15 people there. And then that just meant that we got to get this Airbnb. Let me show you. Oh, wait, first I want to show you the arch. We did it outside. So we just got this big gold hoop kind of thing and then 2 arrangements on the side. Picasso. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I highly recommend doing a micro wedding. We rented out a house. Most people stayed in it. And then we went and got a chef. We got a chef in the back from Louisiana, made all the food, and then we had a little cake and all our friends were there. It was amazing.
And then they give you 4 cons as well. The first con: marriage could expose you to each other's creditors, insurance risk like home care, home and auto, higher income tax rates, and long-term care costs. Point number 2, that's a con: marriage could make you financially responsible for your spouse's dependent children. Hopefully by that age, the kids are older and out of the house, but some children are still dependent on their parents even beyond. Con number 3, marriage can potentially make you ineligible for widow's benefits from your previous marriage. And then bullet point number 4, that's a con: your loved one's expectations of an inheritance could cause an issue with family dynamics with a marriage later in life.
Do you know what a privilege it is to be 40 plus? Do you understand what it means to have lived your life this long and still find joy in little things in life? I hope that when you are 40 plus, hoping that we all make it that far, that you still find the joy in everything in life. If it took you 40 years to find the love of your life, does that mean that you don't get to enjoy your ring? What if you were in a really bad relationship until now and this is the first man that's ever treating you right? You're so excited and you're getting your ring for the first time. What if that requires some excitement? We need to stop hating women, especially older women, for finding joy in life. You deserve to find all the joy in life. I wish you nothing but more joy.
I waited till I was 48 years old to get married. Here's the thing. Some people thought I was going to be a forever bachelor. I was never going to settle down. What a lot of those people don't get is they don't understand the difference between settling and settling down. And I do. And I was never willing to settle. I wanted one of those, if it doesn't feel like 90s R&B marriages, I don't want it. I wanted a marriage that when people look at us, they can say, I can tell that God put them together. And ultimately, that's what I ended up with. I stopped chasing Mrs. Right, focused on becoming Mr. Right, and let the magic happen. The other thing that really helped is for the first time in my life, I got into a relationship with someone that I was actually friends with. When I was 14, I read a refrigerator magnet that said, the best and lasting relationships are built on the strength of true friendship. When you're 14, that doesn't make sense because your best friend's name is Brian. Now that I'm 48, I understand. And the foundation that we had built prior to choosing to be in a relationship and ultimately get married has been the bedrock for why our relationship is so strong, helping us go to where we're trying to go, not only as a married couple, but as partners in life.
We're going to take points from a Reddit, and this is the Reddit called Marriage, and the title of it, the post is, did anyone get married after age 40? If so, can you tell me your story? Let's read some of these stories. Maybe you got married after the age of 40. You can definitely let us know in the comments below. While you're looking there, could you subscribe to our YouTube channel? We're just a lone channel, inching our way to 1,000 subscribers, and we need you. All right, the first story. My dad died suddenly and my mom became a widow at 41. Okay, that's a young widow. 2 years later, she started dating, met a slew of idiots online for about a year. Then an old friend of my dad's contacted her through Facebook. They got married quickly. 4 years later, they were divorced. She said, never again. She was at work and part of her job was talking to people if they felt overwhelmed or had physical complaints. A biker dude with a past in the service came into her office shaking. She thought he was hurt. He said, let me get this out or I won't do it. Would you like to come to my house for dinner with my son and me? We will cook for you. And if you don't want to, it's okay. My mom agreed, and they've been married for 17 years. At the time, she would have been 48 to 49. So it happened a few times for her. Oh, that's a good story.
You're going to expire before the age of 25. By the age of 35, literally no man's going to want you. Let's talk about why this is the biggest load of BS. So my mutual Cecilia Regina, whom tagging below, is doing a series this week on how when it comes to the wealthiest men in the world, older women are the prize. And I'd just like to add some more examples to this conversation. So one of the examples that Cecilia gave was Jeff Bezos, who's arguably the wealthiest man in the world, and his current fiance, Lauren Sanchez, who's 53, Dr. Moyo, who was 50 when she married her billionaire husband, Melody Hobson, who was 44 when she married her billionaire husband, George Lucas. So far, what do we have in common? Intelligence, drive, and success. I'd also like to add Amal Clooney, who was 36 years old when she married actor George Clooney. Serena Williams was 36 when she married her Reddit co-founder and billionaire husband, Alexis Ohanian. Now, if we're talking about the highest echelons of society, you want to get down to royalty? No further than Princess Angela of Liechtenstein. She literally married Prince Maximilian of Liechtenstein when she was 41 years old. 41, people! And she did not give birth to Prince Alphonse until she was 42 years old. She met Prince Maximilian at a party because she was in the right circles. She was a highly accomplished fashion designer, she went to Parsons, and she was in the right rooms. And even more famously, we have Meghan Markle, who was 36 when she married Prince Harry, and didn't have Prince Archie until she was 37. When it comes to success, a lot of these people didn't meet until their mid-30s at the earliest, once they started to reap the benefits of their years of work. All these women are highly accomplished, intelligent women who stand on their own. So when society is saying that women expire at a certain age, ask yourself, does society have it together? Is society doing so great?
Okay, here's a longer story. I've got a funny story. My grandfather had a friend named John. John was not married, and my grandfather told him repeatedly over the course of at least 15 years that he knew exactly the right woman for him. John would always wave him off and say he wasn't interested in marriage. My grandmother had a friend from when they were toddlers in kindergarten called Emmy. Emmy wasn't married. She was your typical library lady. Anyways, in 1948, when all four of them, Granny, Grandpa, Johnny, and Emmy, were well into their 40s, Queen Wilhelmina of the Netherlands abdicated the throne in favor of her daughter Juliana. Wow, I've never heard of this story. Queen Wilhelmina of the Netherlands abdicated the throne in favor of her daughter Juliana. Well, I guess this was 1948, so that was well before most of our time, but let's keep going. There were lots of celebrations, including a coronation ball given by the new queen. Both John and Grandpa were invited with partners. For my grandpa, it was simple. Obviously, he would bring Granny. Johnny wasn't interested in the ball at all, but typical for him, he thought he'd be doing some girl out of the chance of a lifetime by not going. But who'd ask? Then he thought he'd ask the lady from the library. So he did ask her. And she said yes. Of course, what woman would miss a coronation ball? When he came to pick her up, he realized he didn't even know her first name. So he had to ask when he was helping her into her coat. Then at the ball, they met up with Granny and Grandpa and chatted a bit. Then Grandpa took John aside and said, "How did you know?" "Did I know what?" said John. "About her," Grandpa said. "That's her. That's the woman I've been telling you about these last 15 years. Anyways, they married and spent the next 40-something years being happy together. Aw, that's a good story too. It's unfortunate they missed out on those first 15 years because John was being stubborn, but a cute story. Do you all like the name Wilhelmina? I've always liked that name, Wilhelmina. Wilhelmina. I don't know, it just sounds regal to me. And maybe it kind of reminds me of the Wilhelmina Modeling Agency.
I'm going out with my friends. Great. For drinks. Have fun. Maybe grab some dinner. Do what you need to do. If I drink too much, I might spend the night. Stay safe. Probably cruise hot chicks. Hell yeah, babe. Get yours. Might find a younger woman and leave you. Shit happens, babe. That's why we did a prenup. I'll be thinking of you. Bye-bye. So you're not going to miss me?
Oh, babe, hey, you know what? Call me if you think you're going to stay out longer than like a week.
Okay, if you are over 40 and you are unmarried and you've never been married before, this is the video you probably didn't ask for, but you need to see. Because I was just reading a study, and the study said that ladies who are unmarried and never been married before have a 9% chance of getting wifed, and men who are unmarried and never been married before have a 12% chance of making it down the altar. So why am I sharing this? Is it to scare you? Is it to be pessimistic? No, it's to encourage you to get out there and meet your person if this is something that you want. Otherwise, it's only going to get harder, and I'm sorry, but the odds are not in your favor. Like, these numbers are scary. And what usually happens, and what I've observed, is once you hit that point in your life, You feel like you've earned the right to be ultra picky and ultra particular and perfectionistic. And maybe you have, right? Because you have a lot of life under your belt. You're like, I know what I want, I know what I don't want. But guess what? If you can find like 80 to 85% of what you're looking for, compatibility wise and chemistry wise in someone, and you want marriage and you want that life, whether it's with kids or not, I think that's a pretty damn good deal. I don't think you should like continue to look for 100% because first of all, no one's perfect. And second of all, again, the odds are already stacked against you. Get out there, get on dating apps, start meeting people, hire a matchmaker like me, or enter my free database. But time is of the essence, guys. And a lot of you are dragging your feet. Hopefully this was a bit of like, the kick in the ass that you needed. Maybe some of you guys are going to be mad, whatever.
Anyways, that is all for our video today about getting married after the age of 40. Did you get married after the age of 40? If so, put a 40 in the comments for us. Or maybe put whatever number you got married. And if you feel like it, you can tell us your story just like they did on Reddit. Let us know in the comments. Otherwise, that's all for now. Thanks for listening. See you soon.